Hey there, welcome back to part 2 of the lamp build. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that there's quite a few parts in the video that are missing, and mostly it's because when I get involved in doing something, I forget to film. So this isn't going to be a step-by-step about how I did it. There's going to be some major stuff missing only because it was not very interesting, like wiring up the lamp, spending all my time at the lathe working on the base. It's just really not that interesting. But this is just to give you an idea of what it took me to get the lamp done and finished, and what it looks like at the end. So I think it turned out really good, and I hope you enjoy it. Here it is. This is the reason I've been delayed on the lamp project. But all the pieces are now cut and ready to weld up, and I'll have these out the door shortly, and then I'll get back to the lamp. Good news. My pile of metal here is gone, which means, well, except for a few left, but that means my major project is done, so I can move on to the fun stuff again. And that is gonna be starting with making this into a base for the clarinet lamp. But before I do that, I've got to go out and clean up my wood shop, so that's next. Time to clean up the solar shop. It's full of junk during the winter, so over there's my lathe behind Wendy, and just got to get it cleaned up, ready to start using again, instead of being a big junk pile. All my electric tools in here are powered by solar power, and there's my battery bank and inverter over there. Does a really good job, works great for me. But that's what I need to get to. Well, the shop's all cleaned up. Now it's time to mount the base and chuck on the lathe, get it all dialed in and ready to go. Pretty straightforward, just spins right on, then an Allen key kind of secures it. It's a digital Nova DVR lathe, wood lathe. I think they're made in New Zealand. They're a really nice lathe, and I just love this one. I've had it for quite a few years. Didn't want to do anything super fancy with the base. Just wanted a spot to be able to fit the clarinet in so it's nice and snug and fits in nicely, and then do the base so that I can run the wires through. Yeah, looks like it's ready to go. Let's give her a shot. That's good. Bring the speed up a bit. bottom part of the base was done, so time to give it a bit of a sand and a clean up, and then flip it over and get the top done. All right. So we get the inside base done. Got the side kind of tapered. Next is to flip it over and finish the top part here for the insert for the clarinet. And of course, here's where I forgot to film the next bit. So now we're on to putting the clarinet base together, and it fit really nicely. It looked really good, and looked like it was going to come all together quite nice. After the base, we're gonna start working on finishing off and do the wiring for the light. I didn't show cutting this out, but I cut out a piece of 1/4-inch plate, a round base that I'm going to use for the add a little more weight to the bottom of the lamp, and that way it's just a little more sturdy on the bottom because it's quite tall, so we don't want it to tip over. Anyways, next project is clean that up and get it on the base and start working on wiring up the light. So at this point I got started on the wiring. I'm not going to show you all the wiring that I had to do because it was a bit of trial and error with some of the parts I had and pieces, and I had to go out and get some different lamp cords. So this was just a bit of a dry run to put it together and see if it was gonna look okay. And it looked good to me. So we were good to go. And with the lamp all roughly put together and ready for next steps, checked with Heather and made sure she thought the design looked good and it was good to carry on. And time to put a clear coat finish on the base. Okay. Got the base all sanded. Put some water-based clear coat on it. A few coats, satin finish. I like the satin, prefer it to the gloss. Just personal preference. But it's gonna look nice. And this was the first of 3 coats of the finish I put on. It's a water-based polyurethane. I use it a lot. It goes on nice to wood, and it makes a really nice finish. Once the urethane was done, it was all ready for assembly. And here it is all finished. I think it turned out really nice, and we're really happy to have it in our house. Another successful project. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more weird and wonderful stuff coming out of the shop. And of course, if you're enjoying what I'm doing here, you can always like and subscribe.